So, I just got back from seeing Immaculate. I didn't like it. I'll be blunt with you. I don't know what I'm gonna call this segment. Fuck it, bro. Well, I guess Lambda's Impromptu Reviews? It's not the most creative name, I know, but that's just what I'm gonna call it for now. If I have something better, I'll probably think of it. I'm not gonna go off any sort of script or anything. I'm just going off my own thoughts and just talk about it for a little bit. May have a Wikipedia article up just to make sure I have some facts straight. I know Wikipedia isn't the best source of information, but whatever. We're just gonna have to roll with it for now. Regardless, sorry, it's pretty late in the day. I'm very tired, as you can probably tell from my voice. But regardless, we're here now, so sure, let's go. Immaculate. It released earlier this month, earlier in March. I'm recording this on Easter, so woo, Easter special. It stars Sydney Sweeney, but I frankly haven't seen much of her work. I mean, I guess I'll start with that. Sydney, she does a pretty good job as our main character. It's not groundbreaking by any means, but it gets the point across. You could certainly do far worse, but at the same time, at certain points in the film, namely near the ending, it feels kinda... how do I put this? I guess you could put it overplayed, if that makes sense? Regardless. Other things. This is directed by Michael Mohan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Written by Andrew Lobel. And Sweeney apparently also produced the film, which, good on her. Good deal. As for the actual plot... we start with this lady. She's rummaging through this other nun's drawers. This apparently some sort of covenant. She says a prayer, steals the keys, tries to run out through a gate. Is chased by other nuns, but doesn't really succeed. And then she ends up getting buried alive. This is never addressed again throughout the film. Frankly, it just seems, well, I guess we could say it's set up, but honestly, I don't really know what else I could truly say about it. But anyways, we cut to this other nun, our main character, Cecilia. She's in immigration, she's moving to Italy. It's apparently some Italian covenant, but like I said, I don't really have a script for this. I'm just going off of what I remember. Anyways, she goes through immigration, she goes to this covenant, sees this older nun. I honestly can't be bothered to remember her name, but she compliments her beauty by a lot. Frankly, it seems overplayed. There's a lot of Italian throughout the film, which thankfully there's subtitles, so at least sort of get what's going on. I can at least say it's authentic. Regardless, she takes her vows, meets up with this priest, Father T something or another. Sounds Russian, but it really turns out that it's not Russian at all. But frankly, I again don't care about remembering the names right now. Either way, cut ahead like a month or two. She inexplicably throws up with this other nun. I think her name is Gwen. I think that's her name, but this throws up around Gwen. She's interrogated by the priest and the bishop and the first nun I mentioned. They're all like, "Did you bring a man onto this premises?" No, did you? No. But then, out of nowhere, suddenly, we find out she's pregnant in a Virgin Mary scenario. Basically, I don't even know what to say. Just, admittedly, when I was looking up what the heck the movie was even about before even seeing it, it I got the impression that it's gonna be about, there's a cult within the church, or whatever. It's all about this dark secret. But then, out of nowhere, like, what? Pregnancy. There you go. Let's throw it in there. Either way, she's treated like, oh, woohoo, second Mary, let's do this, yay! And to be fair, I will give this movie that. I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but the score is legitimately really good. I can't be bothered to remember the actual names of the tracks, or if there even are any original tracks to the film, but the choirs are really nice. Ave Maria is a good Chris song, but either way, it randomly cuts to her in what I would assume to be a bath, in a pretty awkward shot of her kind of focusing on a somewhat baby bump starting to grow. It's really awkward when you're actually sitting there, though it could also be because I was already half asleep watching it. But either way, she randomly gets her neck strung out, almost drowned by this other nun, Isabel, I think her name is. She's like, no, it should have been me. I should have been the savior. Ah! Now, thankfully, she gets hauled away, but it's sort of better than that. Like, it's sort of just swept under the rug after the fact. Like, not even like 20 minutes later, she ended up offing herself. And we get this weird shot of her having a sort of mauled face. That's the only way I could really describe it. Not without getting age restricted. But regardless, throughout the whole movie, by the way, we see these guys, like, I don't know if it's, how to describe it. They're sort of like these people, like, they're wearing the nuns' outfits, but they have red cloth over their face. But we see one just laying on the floor at the beginning of the movie. We occasionally see them throughout the film, but after this one scene where the friend of Cecilia, Gwen, she calls out everyone after Isabel offs herself. She gets hauled away, but then randomly we see her getting her tongue cut off by these weird red-faced people. And that's the last we see of the red-faced people. They're never brought up, they're never mentioned, and frankly, they seem like they're just been there, done that. As I said earlier, like they just go in. Here's this mysterious group. Ooh, but they never actually capitalize it. Like they never actually capitalize on what they are, or what's even going on. But as I said, it's never began after the fact. No explanation given, and I'm reiterating the point. Moving on, Cecilia, she tries to escape by faking a miscarriage with a dead chicken somehow. It fails, obviously. It ends with this really awkward shot of the first nun sort of stuffing her face into the blanket with her face covered in blood. It's really, I guess it's starting to go into the creep factor, but I guess another way to put it, this movie isn't really scary. Like, there's a couple jump scares, yeah, but they're just that, jump scares. Yeah, like there's no natural tension building throughout the film, if that makes sense. Like, it's sort of just like it's like there he goes, and suddenly nothing. There's not even any lasting payoff. But either way, the chicken plot fails. Then the priest, out of nowhere, explains that he's a geneticist and it's been for 20 years or so, but trying to make another Jesus for some reason. With a couple other candidates, I guess would be the best way to put it. He then burns our main character's feet with a cross, sort of like you're branding a cow. That's the best way I can put it. So, he burns her feet with a couple crosses, but then, out of nowhere, for some goddamn reason, Cecilia kills the main sister from earlier by beating her over the head with the crucifix. Her water breaks literally quite afterwards. But then, for some reason, she goes and strangles the bishop? I don't get why the bishop, out of all people, for whatever reason, at least to me, they didn't seem like to have that bad of a vibe. Like, yeah, he seemed kind of distant, but he didn't really say much else aside from taking her vows or whatever. Either ways, she strangles the bishop with a rosary, but then goes down to the priest's mad scientist lab. Yes, he has a mad scientist lab, because of course he has a mad scientist lab. They have a fight, he's burned alive, but somehow survives. She goes through the catacombs where this mad scientist lab is, while in the process of giving birth, mind you. And yes, it is as awkward as it sounds. She randomly finds the corpse of Gwen, the tongue girl he had mentioned earlier. The priest, catches up and tries to perform an impromptu C-section. Cecilia then stabs him in the neck with a rusty nail that apparently was used in Christ's crucifixion that she stole after killing the bishop. Yes, they do set this up earlier in the film, but it frankly seems so one note that I don't really care right now. Either way, she escapes the catacombs and screams into the camera for a good 2, 3, 4 minutes or so, which honestly, it is uncomfortable, the best way I can describe it. Like, I'm sure if by some strange metric a mother is watching this, then I'm sure they'll be like, yep, just like that. Do not quote me on that. I'm obviously not a mother, but even then, it's very, just, like I said, uncomfortable, for lack of a better term. Just seeing this woman screaming into the camera for like 4 minutes, her face covered in blood, and then she grabs a rock after biting off the umbilical cord. It's frankly kind of confusing how I've seen it. Like, she gives birth, she bites off the umbilical cord, and then she goes over and grabs a rock and smashes it in the newborn with it. We never even see what the newborn looks like. I cannot talk, good lord. We don't see what the newborn looks like, and then the film's over while playing Ave Maria. And that was it. That was Immaculate. Like I said, I don't really know what the hell the movie was going for. Like, according to Wikipedia, apparently it's supposed to spark conversations about abortion, or at least has themes of abortion, but if I'll be blunt, they don't really do that great of a job. Like, throughout the film, Cecilia, she never really says no to any of it. Not until she's already in the process of giving birth. Like, the most she really even says about the whole process, like, oh, I want to go to a hospital, and shoot, the main, the first nun from earlier even was like, yeah, we should probably take her to a hospital. But then, no, if that's all they really say about the matter. And don't get me wrong, I don't really care either way about if a movie talks about abortion or any of that stuff, but if I'll be blunt, you kind of end up drop the ball with the matter, and frankly, it really seems like it was tacked on at the last second. Like, as if it's, oh, this is what we were trying to say all along, to cover up the fact that we just spent 4 minutes watching a woman scream her lungs out. Like, I don't really have much else to say on the matter. Like, if I were to give this movie a rating, I'd probably give it like a, I don't know, like a 4 out of 10, probably. Like I said, the best part of the movie was Cindy's performance, and even then, that's all you can really say, aside from from, like I said, the score, but even then, I'm sure that's just other church songs that they use. Would I say watch this movie? Honestly, no. It's not really worth your time. I'm not gonna go on this whole rant like, oh, it is some woke garbage, when, no, it's not. It's frankly a nothing burger. I'll be blunt with you, this movie is nothing. Like, I've watched this movie with my mother, surprisingly, and we both walked out of the film like, is that it? Like, was that really was that really the ending? I want to be nicer to the film, I really do, but I'm sure, as you can gather from my audio, I don't really have much else to say outside from a rambling mess. There's really not much else I can say other than it's a movie, and Immaculate, that's about it. If you do want me to try more topics like this, like maybe try do more of these impromptu reviews, then let me know. You can follow me on Twitter, at Lambda Belmont. Follow my co-hosts, Pyramid and Despecito. Follow Pyramid and Despecito. They're both on TikTok as well. I personally do not. Don't even bother. And I frankly don't really have much else to say. I'll guess I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.